I'm Kevin Casey. I'm a professional mixed martial arts fighter. And right now what I'm about to do is issue a warning out to all other competitors.
I don't want overs. I just expect them to happen.
Fatty's gonna fatty is real.
He is terrible!
We gotta know how many wieners are going down these dudes' throats.
I'm gonna go quick because I don't give a fuck about anything that's gonna happen on Saturday.
Hello, boys! Welcome back. We are here with another edition of the MMA-Analysis podcast. We are in a great mood this week. I think we all know why. Wes, Nushan, Brad not here, unfortunately, but guys, we're off the snide. We gotta win. It's a great
Hallelujah.
thing. Holly fucking hallelujah. Wes, aren't you excited about this?
$99 either.
What?
I said you didn't have to pay us $7.99.99 either.
Yeah, this is free. Free. All you needed were earbuds and a digital device. All you needed.
We even powered through the Ben fade, which was surprising.
Wow. All right.
It was a miracle. Yeah. It was a minor miracle. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, but he couldn't power through his own fade. But that's a story for another day.
When you get stake 50 to playing something, it's a little different when you're losing your tax refund. Like the juju's a little different. You know what I'm saying?
Man, it is sad times going to a local casino. You know, in the late winter, early spring in the United States, because you see some people with their refund checks, and that's something probably not the best place to go with your refund check. It's
just in the one pocket and out the other,
or in the dealer's pocket.
Oh yeah, pretty much.
At the end of the day, I'm going to have a sports book about 20 minutes from the house in a few months.
Oh, is that the case?
Yeah, Indiana governor signed into law today, so they said
really? Congratulations.
August or September they're going to have it running. So
they definitely want to be up before the start of football season, guaranteed.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Going to be able to.
Oh my God, my chode is already down. Did he get kicked in the dick, or did he get liver shot?
Well, I mean, his name is my chode.
Dude, he just kicked him in his taint meat and KO'd him.
The old taint shot. Man, that guy's a scary dude that Maicho just fought. He's a terrifying human being, even though he's a black Swedish guy.
Is that a body shot or a taint shot?
I'm waiting for them to see a replay.
Hold on, let me just.
We got PFL. Fucking new season starting. Look out.
Yeah. Hell yes.
No.
Just a liver
I can't believe
shot,
that's
man.
on.
Just a liver kick.
Too.
That is a nice shot, man.
That guy's scary, man.
That was just a pinpoint shot.
I knew it as soon as he walked out and I saw the size of that cup. I knew it was fucking over with.
I mean, it's an unfair advantage. He's got 10 inches on my chode. It's not fair.
In every single length department.
Yeah. Arm reach, leg reach, and hog piece.
I mean, this guy is only 7-4-1 in his career. Let's not make him out to be God.
That's why I faded him.
And he waxed my chode in fucking 30 seconds.
He does have a win over Caio Magalish, but so what?
Yeah. Oh, well, he'll get hyped up.
What happened to that guy?
He probably spit on somebody or bit somebody. I don't know.
He had a couple decent wins in the UFC. He was definitely top heavy. I think that's an accurate way of saying it. Oh, yeah. Now I'm finally seeing the video. I mean, he's not Cowboy stack, but yeah, I see where you're going with there.
He's packing some heat. Not Cowboy level heat, but he's packing some heat.
Yeah, that's high level heat for someone whose body.
He finishes, though. He doesn't curl up in a ball. So.
I mean, he should be able to finish. If you're packing like that, you should be able to finish.
Yeah, I mean, if you can't finish,
I mean, you better have some experience finishing if you're packing like that. I guess is my point.
Oh, good start to the show.
So, in the MMA news, I mean, is there really any really good news going on? I mean, Lesnar's retired. Who cares? We got the fight, the
rematch no one wanted.
The rematch no one wanted. Yeah, I mean, John has main eventing the international card. There's rumors that McGregor will fight again, but then, I mean, who knows? I mean, okay. I mean, not much going on. Just lots of fights. That's okay, right?
Yep. Yeah, we're in the start of summer. We just got a couple good cards coming up, but nothing too crazy coming on in the news world, I don't think.
So, Nushan, so many Canadian pound for pound, my top 37 rankings of Canadian fighters were on last week's card. I'm not sure they really fared too well, though.
Of course they didn't.
We can certainly touch on it. First fight, Cole Smith. Someone called Cole Smith. I mean, can you talk about a more generic name? Beat up another Canadian pound for pound number 18, Mitch Gagnon, by decision. And man, Gagnon's gas tank just as bad as I remember it. And then, of course, in the fight right after that, I want to hear how you guys scored this fight, but the judges said Arhem Bueller beat Juan Adams by unanimous decision. Guys, give me your scores on this one, because, I mean, I don't think you saw it, but I know Wes did, and I'm pretty sure you didn't score it for Bueller.
No, I mean, that was pretty bad, man. And
terrible.
The 30-27 especially was bad.
So you didn't see it, Nushan?
No, but I read up on what happened in this fight, and I mean, I could...
Booed by his home crowd.
Yeah,
his home crowd.
You know it's bad when...
They said Adams outlanded him by 40 strikes. It's the most a fighter has been outstruck in a heavyweight fight and still been awarded a decision ever in the UFC's history.
Like, I think Bueller got like a couple takedowns later in rounds that he did like nothing, just laid on him, dude. It was a bad decision, man. It was kind of like the start of some really shaky judging up there in Canada again. Like, there's no doubt about it. They're bad up there, man. They
get swayed.
Yeah, there's no explaining that one though. That was
the weird thing is, like, Bueller was getting booed, so it's not like, I don't know. Canada is terrible for swaying judges. Like I said, especially. It worried me for a fight later on in this card, but it seems like it didn't seem to matter. But that is one thing I would not fight a guy in Canada if I was not from here. Fuck that. Not one from up there, and one that's kind of like got a little push. Like Bueller has like a little bit of push up there in Canada, and like there's no way you don't go up there and do it. Now you're right. That's just. You gotta you're gonna have to take a guy out. Yep.
I mean, Adams was so much the better guy. He's not a bad heavyweight. I mean, he's not great, but that division is so fucking bad. I mean, he's a massive 265 pounds, man. I thought he looked good in that fight against Bueller. Can wrestle, man. Dude got some wrestling chops, and it isn't bad. And I thought Adams easily won that fight, and thought that was going to look pretty good on his resume, and then they read that decision, and holy fuck, man.
He just doesn't hit hard enough. That's a problem. Just swaying judges. It's, yeah.
I think that's about his technique, too. He needs some work. You can tell he's only got 6 fights. You know what I'm saying? Like,
sure.
I think he doesn't hit hard enough because a lot of it has to do with just his technique and stuff. You can tell he's so young in the game, man. I still thought he won that fight easily, though.
Sure. Agreed. But, Judges don't always see it that way. Moving to featherweight, Matt Sales took out Kyle Nelson. Nelson had his moments in the second round, but Sales took over in the third and arm triangle choked Nelson to get a victory. Something called Kyle Prophylactic got decision by Taleb in a fight that nobody cared about. And another fight that was absolutely dreadful, Vince Morales beat Amon Zahabi by decision 29-28 across the board in a fight where Zahabi was like too afraid to throw a punch. It was absolutely incredible. It had me yelling at my television. I hate when I do that because it's so obvious what you need to do and you don't want to do anything. And then in a fight that certainly was entertaining for as long as it lasted, and Nushan, I think even you would be semi-surprised here. Macy Chiasson, a non-Canadian mook, beat and just literally destroyed Sarah Moras, TKO in the second round. This girl is absolutely brutal in top position, huh, Wes?
Yeah, I mean, she's fun to watch.
She's good, isn't she?
Yeah, you can't say it about a lot of chicks, man. However that sounds, but I mean, a lot of them fucking suck. Even the ones that are pretty good just don't finish nobody and shit. Like that chick she's vicious, man. Like legit power. She was in a little trouble on her back and stuff, but not a lot. And got out of kind of held her off in that first round. And then, man, when she gets on top, I mean, we've seen her on the power she has on her feet. Now her top game and that ground and pound. And yeah, at 135, man, she's an interesting prospect, man. Only 5 fights now, 5-0. I'm intrigued, man. I want to see her get maybe a little bit step up. She's still kind of young in it, though. Maybe take it about as slow as you can in that division. You're going to be pretty much in the top 10 fairly fast, I would think, because there's not that many chicks. But yeah, I'm intrigued. Can't say that about too many chick fighters, but yeah, she's pretty awesome.
Morass lasted to round 2, and that's all that fucking matters.
Got a one and a half.
I took fight starts round 2, and I got that, so I was pretty happy with that.
Wow.
But I mean, like I said, I shit on a lot of chick fights. I bet a lot of them to go to decision. I would be happy if there was more chicks like Macy Shea.
No, you wouldn't.
I mean, it would kind of derail my betting strategy, but it would also make fight nights a lot better, where I don't have to just I'm not going to watch this fight because this is half an hour of nothing.
Get 3 fights every card.
Pretty much. But yeah, so good for Shayson. Hopefully they keep giving her a couple steps up, and we'll keep seeing her fuck some chicks up.
Moving up to the main card, which was also on ESPN Plus. I still don't get the need to differentiate them, but here we are.
Not all about America, Jay.
The one round bandit, Andrew Sanchez, shockingly won a third round. Might be the first time he's ever won a third round in his entire career, Wes. Beating Marc-Andre Barrial by decision 29-28. Wes, are you stunned by this?
Yeah, hell yeah, I'm fucking stunned, man. I mean, I picked Andrew Sanchez in this fight, of course. I just think our French Canadian here was just completely doomed when Lance bet him. Like, he was just completely doomed. Lance went against every fiber of his being and bet a French Canadian dude against an American wrestler. Like, he was done. Yeah, I mean, that guy was doomed. But yeah, just completely shocked Sanchez held on. Like, and the dude still looks shaky as fuck. I mean, we can't lie and say this dude still wasn't shaky as hell in that third round. But I don't know, man. Maybe he's the same guy though, man. You're just, if this dude gets past 1 or 2 rounds, man, he's so fucking shaky, man, in the third. He gasses so hard still. You can't trust that guy whatsoever. I mean, I'll still say it, though, and he did it in the first round, too. He mauled that dude in the first round. He took him down. He did whatever he wanted. Andrew Sanchez is one of the best one-round fighters that you see, man. At 185, that dude could be a championship contender if fights were 5 minutes, period.
But
by the way, do you guys like these PFL? Do you guys like these PFL graphics?
Maybe I'm missing them. Well, I'm not watching them on ESPN, so maybe I don't get to see them.
Anyway,
Are they on the bottom of the screen? Where are they?
they're just big graphics, the entire screen, basically. Okay. That's fine. Next up, a slimmed down Walt Harris looked really good against something called Sergey Spivak, undefeated heavyweight. You know what to do.
Can crush
Walt
it.
Harris.
There.
Yep, first round, first minute TKO finish. Wes, thoughts here, and then thoughts on the strategy of betting against undefeated debutants.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised all week that Walt Harris didn't balloon up to like -300, -400. You know, I really couldn't believe it. I played Walt straight. I had him in a parlay as well. Yeah, that was crazy. Just the level of competition, the difference there, just the skill level. I mean, you could see it. I saw a tiny bit of tape of this Spivak dude, just kind of the finishes of his fights. Our boy posts on Twitter a lot of clips and stuff of these European guys and shit. Man, he just can crusher, man. You're fighting at a different level here, and just pretty shocked. Walt Harris was only -165. This guy, it's pretty crazy.
Nushan, thoughts on this one, or no?
No, I'm good on it.
And in the next bout, I'm going to call him friend of the MMA analysis at this point.
Yeah.
Merab Dvalishvili, one of our money trains, took on Canadian pound for pound.
Ireland's fucking.
I'm calling number 11. At Katona, a lot of hype, and Dvalishvili did what we like him to do. Takedown. And that wins fights. This guy might be like, in terms of the amount of takedowns he scores on average in bouts, there's very few guys that are able to put up that level of volume of takedowns. Like, it's almost a Habib level. It's pretty awesome. He is super difficult to fight against, and I think it's an absolute nightmare to deal with. Wes, I'd like to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I love this dude, man. Oh no, it's just my feedback. I thought Brad jumped on. Yeah, man, I love this dude. We say it a lot, but this is what you want your money on, man. This is the exact kind of guy you want your money on. This was just a horrible matchup for Cantone. I was actually kind of surprised at as many people that I saw that liked him as a
Lance.
Another one. Lance going against the goddamn Georgian wrestler.
He bet on a guy from SBG against a wrestler. Like, what are you doing?
But if you listen to Lance, nobody from Georgia can wrestle.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I said, yeah,
Okie
wrong.
dokie.
This guy's a fucking nightmare.
Good luck with that. Yeah, man, and I know he had a couple losses back before the Ware fight and this fight, but I think the guy's getting better, man, and he's at one of the currently one of the best gyms on the planet, up there with Sarah Longo, training with just absolute killers up there. The dude's wrestling is just absolutely legit. He's going to be just a nightmare matchup for a lot of guys in that division. And another thing, just man, we've seen some crazy openers since Nick stopped doing openers a lot. And I know this one dropped pretty fast, but plus 170 on him. I know Quintana was kind of hyped up, but
that's a terrible line.
Even at minus 145 here, I mean, if you really looked into this and looked at the actual matchup and how the fight was more than likely going to play out, and it did, man, even at minus 145, it was just kind of crazy to me, man. Yeah, I made quite a bit on our boy, and yeah, he's definitely a friend of the MMA analysis.
Nushan?
Yeah, I mean, just kicking myself. I didn't go harder on Valashvili. I was right there with Wes. This was going to be a wrestle fest, and when you can go against a guy from SBG with a pretty damn good wrestler, you kind of know what's going to happen. So, yeah, we definitely don't claim Brad Katona. He can hang out in Ireland without his coach, because his coach doesn't even show up to his fights. So how good can he be?
Not very good.
Yeah, he was busy too, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, yes, impressive win for Dvalishvili. I'm sure he'll continue to move up in that division. It's tough seeing non-elite guys being able to beat this guy just because of his offensive wrestling capabilities, and he really has an incredible motor. Featherweight, and this is the bout I think I might have been most excited about on the entire card. Just going in, I thought this was a really good matchup on paper, and it really didn't disappoint. Just a really fun, aggressive offensive striking matchup with Shane Burgos and Cub Swanson. But Cubs now lost 4 fights in a row in the UFC. Got split decision loss against Shane Burgos.
What a fucking... what are
not
they
sure that
drinking up
right.
here, man?
It was fairly competitive, and you could make an outside case that maybe Cubs stole a round. And I mean, I think he won one. I think he won the 3rd round, but yeah. I mean, Burgos definitely landed the heavier shots in this bout and put more damage on Cub than the other way around. Wes, how did you score this one?
Yeah, I mean, I could see a slight argument for giving Cub the 3rd, but man, the first couple rounds, it was just a clinic, man. I like Shane Burgos a lot, man. I think this guy is really, really good. There's a couple of things that that worry me.
That chin
going in.
He leaves it out there. Yeah.
And we worried about his chin, but he actually took some shots from Cub and didn't phase him at all. But he took some shots. You know what I'm saying? He's still taking some shots. He's gotta shore up. He keeps his hands low a lot. Some guys just do that. It's just their style. They get off a little better when their hands are placed like that. But if he's going to do that, he's got to tuck that chin a little better, man, because it floats a little bit, and that's scary. I like seeing, though, that Cub hits with some pop, and he did take some pretty good shots from Cub, and they didn't phase him at all. But, I mean, outside of that, dude, I mean, his hands are up there, man. They're close to as high level as it gets. He's got really good takedown defense. He's got great hands. The cooking game that he added in this fight is going to take him a long, long way, because that's something that he didn't have. And he even said after the fight, he worked on that all through camp. And that's the first time he's thrown that many kicks in a fight, and it worked, man. Cub's legs were just absolutely tore to pieces in that fight. So, I mean, the guy's still getting his game better and better. We can see with that aspect. So I really like the dude, man. At 145, it's just another dude in a Shark Tank full of guys it's just a really, really good division. So, yeah, I'll see who they match him up with, man. But I'm a huge Burgos fan. That guy's really, really good.
Nushan, what did you think about this one?
Yeah, he's just got really, really good offense. He's just you're always going to have that in your mind that his defense is a bit poor. He does get hit, and that chin is sketchy. So Hopefully he can shore up that defense a bit, make some adjustments, but his offense is very good, and like Wes said, has good takedown defense. So he's another one of these prospects at 45. That's good to see.
Co-main event, and this was our consensus. We highlighted it all week. Elias would struggle with the wrestling, and he did in this bout. Derek Brunson, unanimous decision victory over the one Elias. Wes, how happy were you that Brunson got his hand raised here? Were you a little nervous at the final bell?
Nah, I mean,
Canadian mookery, though.
If they robbed that one from Brunson, I mean, I think the Canadians would have righted, because this was other ones where they were booing Elias up there. Like, man, there's been so many little gifs and little snippets of this fight put on the internet, and Jesus Christ, how was Derek Brunson a fucking underdog to this dude? Like, I don't get it, man. Like, he's not that good, man. I guess he's tough and he stays in fights and shit, but God damn, did you see when he was throwing open-handed smacks, just kind of like throwing them downwards, little open-handed smacks and shit? I was like, it was just too much, man. I was laughing most of this fight watching Elias strike against Brunson. But I mean, even as far a gap as there was in this fight, how much better Brunson is than Elias, and how easily I think he won this fight. Man, that dude still put himself in a few bad spots in that fight, you know, and he still was running across the ring with his chin up, throwing dumb shit. Like, Brunson is going to get knocked slick. I said after that fight, I'm going to get many more when the edible memes with Derek Brunson. You can guarantee that. It's going to happen again. That guy's going to get knocked slick out a few more times in his career, because even against the guy this bad, he got away with it, but he still does all the dumb shit that he does. Like, that was just an absolute gift, man. That was great.
You're so right, Wes. Like, it was just the right matchup.
Yeah.
Elias has been extremely lucky with his matchups, and I mean, give credit to the guy. He's got a long way for having little to no skill. Like, it's all hard work. This guy only started like MMA when he was like 20 or something, 21. But he just puts on terrible fights. Like, I don't think there has been a fun Elias fight. But yeah, I hope to fade Brunson in the right situation, because he is still not good. I don't know. I don't know if it was the Whitaker fight. Like, I guess it was eventually going to happen. I just don't know. Like, at some point, he just started degrading or just didn't continue. I don't know. It seems like he got a lot worse. And he's just never going to be what I thought he was going to be, but might as well cash in on it.
And then the main event, this one certainly went a little differently than I thought it was. It looks like Donald Cerrone post baby it's like the opposite of mom quit.
Yeah, what's the opposite of mom quit?
Dad fight.
Power? Dad bod power?
Dad fight. This was really impressive. He went from fighting that undefeated kid, Alexander Hernandez, and looking really good in that one, to just really putting on arguably the best performance of his career. He beat the crap out of Iaquinta, hurt him badly multiple times, dropped him multiple times, and just brutalized him. It was a thorough beating, and I'm almost surprised that Al made it to the final bell. Wes, what did you think about this?
Yeah, I mean, shocked at the, you know, how much of a beatdown it was. Happy for Cowboy. Yeah, I just for one at 155, when Cowboy cuts the weight and gets on the weight and goes to 155, you usually know he's pretty serious about a fight. That was always what you had to figure out betting a Cowboy fight the past 4 or 5 years. Does he care about this one, or is this one just one in between to get a check real fast? It's definitely. I think it's proven now that he does have a kid. I really
motivated.
think it really does matter. It's one of those guys. He's one of those guys now that's literally like, I'm not going to lose in front of my kid. You know what I'm saying? I really believe that, and he shows up to every fight motivated. We used to question that. You didn't know if you could bet on Cowboy if he was motivated or not. I think he's motivated. Yeah, I like Cowboy, like when the week leading up to this fight, and then just talking to everybody, and we get to discussing fight stuff, and it was just one that I was a little swayed back to Al. I could see all the angles of him winning this fight, and I still think there was a path for Al to win here. He had major success when he could get inside. Every single time that he got inside on Cowboy, he was landing stuff, and it looked like it was stunning Cowboy. I think Cowboy's he's taken a lot of shots, man. I still think when he takes some big ones, he's got a little bit of some chin issues just from the miles on it. But man, those were very few and far between. The way Cowboy uses his length is some of the best that you'll see in the sport. The dude it's a master class in keeping range, using his kicks to keep it range. And some of the kicks he was laying on Al, I mean, just that dude's just got devastating kicks to the body, the head, the legs, all. It was that was a hell of a kickboxing display put on by Cowboy. Yeah, I'm a little surprised that he put it on Al like that. I think once Al got hurt a couple times and started taking damage and was bleeding real bad, his game plan just kind of went out the window. He just quit trying to get inside. That was just a major downfall. It was over. But yeah, I mean, I hope they can get Cowboy the Conor fight. I don't think anybody deserves it more than that dude. I hope he can get a payday. Give me dog money against Cowboy at 55. I'd probably take it tomorrow. You give me plus 150 or something on Cowboy against Conor. I'd probably take that tomorrow. I think that fight's a lot more competitive than a lot of people will think it would be.
I think you're right. But let's digress. New Sean, final thoughts here before we get to next week's card.
Yeah, that was just a really bad read on my part in this fight.
All of our parts, really.
Yeah, fair enough. I was just going to speak on myself.
It.
Yeah, I mean, if in a strict kickboxing match, it's going to be tough to beat Cowboy. I felt like Al did good early on. Cowboy's kind of a slow starter. I don't know if he was just pacing himself. Like, he has been a slow starter in a lot of his previous fights, and this was a 5-rounder, so I don't know if he was kind of just pacing himself or just more of the slow starter. But Al hit him with some big shots. They were few and far between. Cowboy still is hittable. I don't know if it's just because he was trying to throw so much power and get Al out of there that he was there to be hit, or if it's just more the kind of usual Cowboy defense where he is going to get hit because he's there to hit you. But yeah, he looked pretty good. I'm not sure about the Conor fight at this point. I think I would still lean Conor in that fight, but fun to see Cowboy. It's not a bad thing to lose money to that guy when he wins, so I guess I can't complain too much. Al still has pretty slick boxing. It was just Cowboy's big for 155 now. And so that's going to be tough for a lot of 55ers. And obviously with that, it comes a decent reach advantage and leg kick advantage. So, yeah, good to see from Cowboy.
Definitely. let's move on. Just saw TJ McConnell doing airplane waves on the Philadelphia bench, so it's interesting times in other sports as well. Let's move to the great city, the home of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and arguably, the mecca of mixed martial arts, Rio de Janeiro. For UFC 237, a decent pay-per-view card. Certainly not the best, but a handful of Hall of Fame fighters are going to be on this card, which makes it a pretty cool event. We'll skip the first fight because I don't think anyone knows what Carlos Huaquin is. Facing Rayani Barcelos.
What the fuck is that?
I will say one thing about that dude. If that dude's definitely a Cuban 22. If that
I want to take a look at this.
If he's 22 years old, I swear to God, I'm fucking 21. Like, tell me it ain't a Cuban 22 going on there. 22 years
old. Yeah, he's pushing 30 for sure, at least.
He's kind of got a face of like Sergio Pettis, though.
A little bit, yeah.
That dude's like a Sergio Pettis at
22.
Yeah. That's
he's got a weird shaped body. That guy's 5'7". He looks like he's like 4'3". He's like Peter Dinklage.
This guy's another can crusher. His last fight, he beat a guy that was 10-9, or is 10-9, and the guy before that was 4-8.
Wes, he could be a champion the Dinklage class. Okay.
Yeah, he's gonna get trucked. That dude's a dead man.
Barcelos is minus 1100 at times.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, he should be.
It opened minus 320, and it is minus 1100 now.
Wow.
That's
wild. I like Barcelos, but I don't know if I like him that much over anybody.
Minus 1100.
I don't like him that much. No.
Yeah, let's move on from that. This one should be really good. Two guys that we like on this show. We got good old boy Sergio Moraes taking on good old Warley Alves. Wes, what do you think about this matchup?
Yeah, this is this one's kind of hard for me, man. If this was before Moraes' last fight, I might be more inclined to pick him here. But man, he fucking stunk up the show last time out, man, against fucking the fuck are we calling this dude?
Rocco.
Fucking
Tony Rocco Martin.
Tony Martin.
Rocco.
But man, he just I don't know. I thought he couldn't get nothing off in that fight. It's kind of a little concerning to see. He's starting to get up there in age. If this was against not a Brazilian down in Brazil, I would probably even lean more towards Moraes. But I'm probably going to pick Warley in this fight. I think he can just do a little more. His gas tank has held up a little bit better here recently, so and I don't think that's going to be much of a concern against Moraes coming off that last fight. The dude just doesn't do a whole lot at this point, and at 36 years old. I'm going to lean Warley here, but man, I'm not betting this fight. It's hard. It's still hard for me to call, man. I think this is just a coin flip. You really I don't know how this fight's going to play out, though. Pick is going to be Warley, and no bet.
Okay, Nushan.
Yeah, Moraes definitely didn't look good in his last fight. Just seemed like he wasn't hunting for the takedown and just settled on having a kickboxing fight, which he was obviously going to lose to Tony Martin. And I kind of think that's the case here. If he's able to get Warley down, it's obviously a big deal, and he could snatch up a sub or dominate on the ground enough to get a win. But if he doesn't, I think Warley obviously has the edge on the feet and should be able to outstrike him and take a decision. Warley getting knocked out in his last fight, not a great look. I like other bets on this card. Lean Warley, but not touch them at this price.
I have Warley a C, Moraes a C minus. Moraes definitely tricky, a pretty good record in the UFC. But Warley hits like a Mack truck. Moraes hasn't fought a lot of fighters like that. And he's pretty aggressive, especially early on in fights. I think I'm going to take Warley to win here. But it'll be curious to see if this fight gets to like a third round and what Warley's gas tank is. Late in that fight, he's struggled with his conditioning. But I just love his power. And Moraes' inactivity is certainly an issue. So I'll take Alves by volume and power. I think we will skip this women's fight.
Goes decision.
Yeah, I bet you would say that. Now we move up to the televised prelims, and I think they got the order of the fights wrong on these prelims because I think they should be reversed. I'm going to grab a beer, and I'm going to let Wes, which means I'll be back in 10 minutes because I know that this fight deserves that. Wes, you can start us off with Clay Guida and BJ Penn. And if Nushan, I'm not back by then, you can jump right into it too.
Yes, sir.
All right, well, Wes, you're up.
Yeah, to Jay's dismay, there's not a break this fight down. I mean, I could go into a 5-minute rant about how BJ Penn has turned into one of the biggest pieces of shit that walks the planet now, but like we said a couple of weeks ago with Greg Hardy, I kind of separate my cage fighting from these dudes being total pieces of shit, which BJ Penn is. But man, this dude is going on 6 or 7 losses in a row now. He's done. Guy's completely fucking shot, man. I guess it's the name that maybe Dana's Asian fucking call girl he was with at the blackjack table when Covington ran up on him is supplied by BJ Penn or something. I don't know. But yeah, this is going to be bad. Clay's going to fuck BJ up badly. I think he gets a finish here. I like Clay to win this fight easily, and I like him inside the distance, and I believe it's around minus 140 or so, and I think that's a great bet.
Yeah, what are we doing here? BJ Penn coming off 6 losses. Also, I thought he got his knee fucked up in that Ryan Hall fight. It seemed like it right when it happened. Obviously, it must not have been as bad as we first expected, but that was just over 4 months ago. And I don't know, that old body probably doesn't recover as quick as others, and I think BJ's taking this fight because it's in Brazil, so who knows what shape his knee's in. I don't think that matters anyway. I think Clay Guida can probably take out BJ Penn on the feet. That's where we're at in this 2019. I think Guida's smart enough on the ground. He could even wrestle him and not get caught in BJ's guard. It's going to be a sad fight, but it is what it is. I put Clay Guida in a parlay at minus 600 with something later on in the card. And also looking at him inside the distance, it's at minus 138 right now.
Now, Nushan, are you going to make the distance across Canada to go to Game 7 on Saturday?
Hell no.
Just wanted to ask that.
I got more money on Philly now.
I got Clay Guida a C. Now I will ask you guys to guess what my ranking or rating is for BJ Penn. Wes, I'll ask you first, and then I'll go to Nushan.
Can't be. It's got to be lower than a C. But I don't think you've downgraded him all the way to an F yet. I'm going to say D minus.
You think I was a D minus? Okay, Nushan.
That's where I was thinking. Just to be different, I'll say a flat D.
You're both wrong.
Is he an F?
F?
BJ Penn is an F. He is terrible.
It's so
C and
true.
an F.
It's true.
I've had this fight circled for I don't even know how long. At least 6 weeks, 8 weeks. I mean, I won't eat rat shit in Calcutta if BJ Penn wins, but my goodness, you can make this fight minus 1,500. How does Clay Guida lose this fight? BJ Penn shouldn't even be fighting in MMA at this point. Wasn't he just arrested or in trouble with domestic abuse?
Yep.
Well,
Seeing worse than
than
other sports. Yeah, there's a lot of shit going on with that. He's lost. Second of all, he's lost 6 straight fights in MMA in the UFC. He hasn't been competitive in really a long time, and he lost to frickin' Ryan Hall in the last bout. Got submitted for the first time. And now he's fighting a guy who's got a great motor. Has looked like pretty decent still, even at a fairly advanced age. And BJ doesn't have the gas tank to contend with anybody. How does he win this fight? Honestly,
it's a Hail Mary sub when Guida goes for a takedown. That is his literally his only shot.
But he doesn't even need to go for a takedown.
Yep. But that's
he'll be more active on the feet. He's got more volume. He'll throw like 4 times as many strikes on the feet. Doesn't even need to go to the ground. And he wins this fight. Clay Guida wins this. I don't know if he'll finish because sometimes Clay just like we've seen him fight just like weird striking matchups like against like Gray Maynard going back a while. But he's going to be absolutely dominant in this bout. I really don't see a way BJ Penn can win this fight. And the hits just keep on coming. Next fight, we got Irene Aldana versus... I'm not sure how to describe her. I'm not going to say friend, not going to say enemy. We'll call it a casual MMA
acquaintance.
Casual interest, we'll call it, in the almighty Betchy one, Betch Correa. Wes, give me your thoughts on the Betchy one.
Look, I think
I love this. This is the great TV card.
I think Betchy is pretty bad, man. I mean, there's no better gift in
She's
sports
not terrible though.
than her running around the ring and doing like 3-inch fucking jumps off and like.
No one's saying she's an NFL caliber athlete, Wes. No one's suggesting.
Yeah, we're not gonna go there. I mean, I wouldn't even put curling level athlete, but
imagine watching her jump rope. You think she'd over the whatever.
Yeah.
I'll let you go. Sorry, I got it was good.
I think Aldana is just as bad, and just as bad against like way less competition. That you say whatever you want about Betchy, she's been in there with the top of the division. We were talking about it before the show. She took a round off of Holly Holm. Like, some people could argue that she didn't, but it was close.
She did. Oh, she did.
I
thought she was up 2 rounds.
Yeah,
She could have been.
Maybe
Close.
2 rounds against Holly Holm. Look, this is down in Brazil against a pretty shitty Mexican fighter coming down there. This has Betchy split decision win written all fucking over it, man. I'm waiting on plus 300, and I'm going to take a little of that, and I know we'll lock something in. The decision line is just crazy to me too. So I like Betchy here, man. Call me crazy, but I'm gonna be on our girl down in Brazil.
I mean, how could you really dislike a woman who got in Ronda Rousey's head? I mean, it didn't really work in her case, but she got in Ronda's head, and anyone who gets in Ronda's head is a friend of mine. But all right, new Sean, what do you think?
I'm not going to waste everybody's time. I agree with damn near, like everything that Wes said. I got the goes to decision prop at minus 245 in two parlays. One of them's canceled at this point. Well, half of it's canceled because the other chick fight got canceled. And I took Betchy Correia by decision at plus 453 for half a unit. I think she can do it.
4.5 to 1 odds. Yeah. Okay. I got Betch Correia C, Aldana C minus.
Betch Correia C, BJ Penn is an F. I'm like on heroin right now.
Maybe I'm underrating Aldana. I mean, I don't know. Betch has some wins. I mean, this is going to be a very competitive striking matchup. One thing about Correia is that she keeps throwing. She can box. She does have fairly. She throws a fairly decent power for this division. She can take it a bit. Aldana will certainly dish it as well. Brazilian judges, Brazilian crowd. We know how that kind of goes. She'll certainly be bayoued by the Rio crowd. There's no denying that. And I'm expecting a fairly close competitive striking matchup. So, I really don't get the odds of Betch Correia over plus 250 here. I'm with my co-host here. It's I think Betch is definitely worth a bet at this price. I was stunned when I saw this price, and that decision prop is criminally bad. Because that's the way Betch kind of wins. Aldana's fairly durable. Both fighters are durable. This fight, it's minus 245, right, Nushan, to go to decision.
That's what I got it at. I don't know if it's moved. It's minus 230 to go to decision.
Minus 230 to go to decision, but Betch is plus 450 to win? How does that make any sense? It makes no sense at all. I'm sorry. It's a bad line, and absolutely worth a bet. And we have that as our first consensus bet of the week. Betch Correia, by decision plus 453 that Nushan cited for half a unit. I like that play, and I think we all do. Considering the price, it's honestly, I think it should be about half that price, candidly. Yeah. So moving to the lightweight division, moving back to men's fights. We got 6 men's fights in a row. We got Kurt Hollabaugh continuing his second stint in the UFC now, taking on Thiago Moises West.
Yeah, this is a really close fight, I think, as well. I know Hollabaugh's had a pretty rough time since coming back to the UFC. I know he was on the Tuesday Night Contender Series, probably had a win there. Ended up getting overturned or to a no contest, and then ran into a couple of really good guys, man, and he got chewed up. And then Moises was looking pretty good. He's been good on the regional scene and stuff, but man, just ran into a resurgence Benny not too long ago. So this is just a really close competitive fight. I think it's hard for me to make a pick. I'm leaning Moises. Just man, it's in Brazil. We know how these guys fight down there in Brazil, man. It's just a little bit different for them. And any of these close fights, man, I'm usually going to lean towards a Brazilian down there. I could see this fight being kind of slow though. A lot of grappling. Hollabaugh's probably going to want to wrestle. So I could see this going to a decision, being kind of a slow fight. But I lean in Moises right now by decision, but it's a close fight. No money for me, but he'll be my pick.
Nushan.
I don't have too much on this fight. Hollabaugh has decent power for a wrestler. He took out Matt Bassett on the Contender Series, and then he also cracked Burgos before he got armbar there in his last fight. So he's got some power. Moises he just lost to a better fighter. Dariush kind of got his shit together and went back to his roots and didn't risk getting his head knocked off again. I think it's a close fight. I kind of agree with Wes. In close fights, you kind of have to side with the Brazilian. He's going to be home and getting pumped up by that crowd and might even get a bit of a greasy decision. So I'll side with Moises, but no play for me.
I got Moises slightly better than Halaba. C- for Moises, D+ for Halaba. I agree with both of you. I think it's going to be a fairly competitive fight. I just think Moises a little more variety than Halaba, and I think that's ultimately the difference as he likely grabs a decision victory. Preliminary headliner, we got Lil Nog taking on Ryan Spawn in what ultimately becomes a gatekeeper versus prospect type of fight. Wes, will the gatekeeper win, or will this prospect make his way up the ladder?
I mean, he ain't made the walk yet. So
sorry.
This is still scheduled. This isn't actually.
Weigh-ins are not too long away.
They better have Lil Nog in a wheelchair bubble wrap for the rest of the weekend.
I mean, if this fight doesn't happen though, it'll be okay.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I was, even as bad as Sam Alvey is, that was pretty shocking. Him taking out Alvey.
Sam Alvey paying $700 for fight picks nowadays.
Kick the leg, Sam. Kick the leg.
I know someone else who suggested for someone else to kick a leg.
Exactly.
He also sells fight picks.
Everybody sells fight picks.
Everybody sells fight picks these days. Well, except for us.
We're not good enough, man. We just don't have we don't have that betting record of 10-unit plays and shit. But I like Spawn quite a bit in this fight, man. Maybe I'm going to be completely off. I have said the whole card, close fight. I usually go with the Brazilian. I know this line's close, but man, I don't really think this fight's close, man. I think Spawn gets in there and takes care of business, man. I don't think he's some super prospect or anything, but man, just the size and the length here, I think is going to be a problem. Nog is pretty much a boxer, man. That's what he likes to do. It's what he usually does. I just can't see him catching Spawn with anything like he did Sam Alvey here. So Spawn at minus 135 is kind of crazy to me, man. I have a pretty big bet on him. Like I said, maybe I'm completely wrong, and Lil Nog, the fucking ghost of Lil Nog, shows up and gets a big win in Brazil. But man, it would be pretty shocking to me if he takes out Ryan Spawn in this spot. So yeah, I like Spawn pretty big here.
New Sean.
You guys got to give a little more respect to Lil Nog. He's 2-1 in his last 3. Like, come on, guys, with 2 knockouts.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, nothing surprises me anymore in this sport.
Dude's 42, man. He's gonna be 43 next month.
Yeah, but he's going on 65 in fight years. Like,
that's valid.
He's a decrepit old man that can still knock people out. I mean, still surprised by Sam Alvey just getting knocked out slick.
Yeah, that was surprising. Yep.
Spawn doesn't have an iron chin. He has been knocked out twice in pretty short fashion. It could happen. I don't think it happens. I'll pick Spawn, but I don't want to have my money anywhere near this. Who knows? Maybe somehow the Brazilian fans will somehow make Lil Nog 10 years younger, and he will look like a prime Lil Nog and knock this dude out. But I wouldn't count on it. We're likely going to see an old man very hurt at the end of this fight.
Yeah. He still got to make the walk.
That's true, too, so I don't even know why we're talking about it.
Yeah, I got Span C-, Lil Nog D+. Span is just a pretty hulking figure for this division, and Nog is going to be 43. I mean, the reason he's still a D+ is that he's had a couple wins, like Nushan cited earlier, but I mean, he's so much older, and he's fighting a guy who doesn't have a terrible chin, and I just think Lil Nog's going to get out. Is just going to get athlete here by a faster, stronger, better athlete, and it's going to be a tough sledding for Lil Nog. I think there's a possibility he could get really embarrassed in this bout. I mean, the price isn't too crazy. I mean, minus 135. I mean, it's a pretty good price.
It lured me in. I could be wrong, man.
I don't hate it. I haven't bet it yet, but it's definitely on my my short list of opportunities. Headed to the pay-per-view. Woohoo! This starts off with a pretty compelling lightweight fight between guys just outside the top 15 of this division. We got Carlos Diego Ferreira taking on Francisco Masserin Duba Trinaldo.
Grandpa Trinaldo.
Who do you think was actually born earlier, not what their birth certificates say, Wes? Him or Lil Nog?
They might be the twins.
Yeah.
50-year-old fucking twins, I'm telling you. Jesus. Yeah, there's no way Trinaldo's anything fucking under 50, dude. Like, god damn. Yeah, Trinaldo's he's been good to me, man. I've had a lot of bets on this guy over the years. Guys had a pretty decent UFC run. But yeah, he's getting up in age too, man. 40 years old. I just think even at 34, it seems like CDF is just the younger, fresher guy here. And then, yeah, the performance last time out against Rustam was very good, man. That might have been the best that CDF has looked. So yeah, I like him in this fight, man. I think this line is a tiny bit short here. Yeah, I'm going to take a bet. I think Trinaldo is. We know how tough the guy is and stuff. So I think this goes 3 rounds, but CDF does just enough in the clinches and on the feet. I think he's a little better. He'll just do just enough to get a decision here. So yeah, I like CDF.
Okay, Nushan, I'm reading an article right now that's suggesting that Brian Ortega and Zabit Magomedsharipov could be fighting this summer.
I did read that earlier. I wasn't sure if that was just somebody making stuff up or if it was a rumor. That's a nasty fight right there.
I don't know who I'll root for.
Take a fight. Fucking Zabit pieces him up for 2 rounds, start to gas in the third.
Gets choked out in typical Ortega fashion.
Yep, I go exactly like that.
I kind of that does kind of make sense. I would be betting Ortega round 3 in that fight.
Round 3. Yep, Zabit is great. He's awesome for 2 rounds, and that dude starts to gas, and we know what Ortega does to gas guys in the third.
Magomed Karamov is fighting now, West in PFL. That guy's pretty good. Yeah.
I think minus
minus 2,000?
Wow.
Minus 50 against John Howard.
Did he not win the season? What happened last year?
No, he got beat by somebody, I believe.
In the playoff, maybe.
Yeah, it was like the semis or he might have even made the final. I don't know, let me look it up.
As for the Grandpa Trinaldo CDF fight, like Wes, I have a soft spot for Grandpa Trinaldo. He's won me a lot of money. He had an awesome streak there. He won like 7 fights in a row, and I think I was on him for a lot of those. This is going to be a bit of a tough one. He likes to throw with heat, so CDF's definitely going to have to watch out for that. I think CDF is the cleaner striker, but sometimes that doesn't matter. I think Trinaldo probably has the wrestling advantage, but whether it's going to matter in this fight, I'm not too sure. I think it's definitely going to go to decision. I put the fight goes to decision with Clay Guida, and I got that at -125 for 1 unit. I'll pick Grandpa Trinaldo. Maybe he can pull off one more miracle before he hits 65.
I have CDF C+, Trinaldo a C. This fight, to me, comes down to intelligence, and CDF is a way superior fighter from just his mentality and his approach and his game plans over Trinaldo. This guy makes adjustments mid-fight, between rounds, and finds ways to win rounds and win fights. He's a very crafty fighter, whether that's his striking, which I think is better than people give it credit for, and his grappling game is also pretty sharp. He's got a pretty good submission skill set. Trinaldo's a fairly physical fighter, but he doesn't have great cardio, and like his mentality is really not that great. He's not a smart fighter by any stretch. I'll take CDF here to get the victory. Now moving up, you got a series of Brazilian legends coming up in the next 3 fights. First of those is Thiago Alves taking on something called Staropoli, Laureano Staropoli. Wes.
Yeah, he's Argentinian, but he's no Messi. Yeah, I have no idea about this cat. I know it was on a fight night last year against one of those shitty Mexicans. But man, I mean, Alves it's still crazy that this dude's only 35 years old, man. But god damn, we're talking about fight years. He's got to be 70. I mean, I don't know how he beat Max last time. I guess Max Griffin's a fucking total, just a mook. But he did get that win. Man, he's looked so bad the past couple years, though. I don't want my money anywhere near this fight. I guess I got to pick Alves down there in Brazil, but I mean, if this dude has any kind of skills, right? I mean, he's like 25 years old. He's got any kind of skills. He's got to beat Alves, right? Who knows, man?
Who knows is right.
I'm going to pick Alves, but this is a fucking absolute pass.
I'm really not sure what I think about Lilian Garcia doing the MMA. And now the cage, yeah, whatever. Wes, before we get to that, how much do you think John Howard's backing?
I mean, his cup is literally laid over to one side. Like, he can't even center his cup. The fucking thing is so big.
It's cowboy level.
Coil up that bad boy.
Yeah, he's a small guy, but he's certainly. I mean, look at the comparison to this Russian. I mean, is that guy even wearing a cup? I mean, he's not.
Doesn't need one. He's fine.
He's like Varys on Game of Thrones, man. There's nothing to talk.
Smooth like a Ken doll.
Motherfucking like Grey Worm. Be over like Grey Worm.
Anyway, you're off.
Staropoli is another one of these can crushers. I know he has a UFC win, but that was against another can crusher who was 4-1 at the time. Unfortunately, he's fighting the ghost of Thiago Alves. I kind of hope Staropoli gets a big win and then I can fade him, but I have no clue. Alves has looked terrible, like Wes said. I'll pick Alves because it's in Brazil, and maybe he'll just show a little bit of flashiness from the past. But I don't know if it's going to come through.
Did you see that John Howard has a hematoma before the fight even started?
What the fuck, man? It's huge.
That was so weird. It was huge. I've never seen that before. It's like nobody watching this.
Smoked his head in the back, just warming up. Headbutted a dude.
I don't know. That's really interesting, though. Anyway, I got Thiago Alves, C-, Staropoli, a D+. I mean, I thought Alves looked fairly good. I mean, against Max Griffin. I mean, after a terrible start, he did show some, I think, some confidence in that fight to try to steal it towards the end. I mean, just the level of technical ability is just so much higher from Thiago Alves. Just have to take him here, but like I'm with Wes. Like it's hard to really have your money on a fighter like that. He's been through so much. I mean, I still don't think he's too great, but I think he can do enough to beat Staropoli, especially in his native Brazil. Let's move up to arguably the best fight on the card. I'm not even going to say it's arguably. I think this is the best fight on the card. I'm really excited for it. I think most people are. This is a great matchup. We got Jose Aldo Jr., Brazilian all-timer number 2?
Probably.
Probably taking on Australia number 2?
3.
Alex? 2.
3. Oh, Australia. I guess New Zealand's not Australia. Fair enough.
Yes, no, it's not. Canada's not USA.
Hey, that's a bit different. Come on now.
Taking on, so we got country number 2. That looks like Alex Volkanovski. Wes, break this down. This is going to be good.
Yeah, this is some great stuff.
Great match.
Somebody on Twitter the other day pointed out, I think it might have been our boy Capose, this is like the first time Jose hasn't been in a main or a co-main event in over a decade or something like that.
Yep.
So just kind of crazy seeing that. This is such a great fight, man. The Jose coming back after the match losses and the 2 performances that he's put on after those fights are just, I mean, they still show to me that the guy's still probably the second or third best dude in the division still. When so many people were writing him off after the max losses, the dude is still right up there, man. He's still so good. On the other side, man, I love Volkanovski. We talked about Dashvili from the last card. This is the kind of guy like that you want your money on. Man, I bet Otto in every fight period. He's one of my all-time faves. He's won me a lot of money. I'm going to bet him again in this fight, but I'd be crazy to say that this is a shaky win. But I think people's overlooking Otto a little in this fight. And I think you can go back to Volkanovski's last fight against Chad Mendes. Even though he won it, it was an amazing fight, an amazing performance. Man, Chad had him hurt in that fight. Chad was wrestling great in that fight. The things that Chad hit Volkanovski with in that fight, if Otto lands some of those, he's going to put him out. So, I mean, I see all kinds of paths for Otto here, and I think that's it. It's going to have to be his just world-class takedown defense and keep this on the feet. I think this is the levels change into Otto's favor big time. He's got to stop the takedowns, though, and he's going to have to stop quite a bit of them. But I'm banking that he can here. And I'm going to bet Otto again. I think this is probably going to go to a decision. But I think Otto can win the first couple of rounds in this fight. Now, like I said earlier, man, this is a shaky one for me because I think Volkanovski is the truth. Me personally, I'm looking for avenues for Aldo to win here. And like I said, if you go to the Chad fight, I think you can find those avenues. So Aldo for me. I'm going to bet him. I'm going to pick him. They get the really close fight, though. And it's best fight on the card. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, and Sean, looks like that hematoma didn't really help John Howard. He got smoked.
Go figure. Go figure.
Yeah, he almost got a clock in fucking head.
Yes. This guy was pretty good. Nushan, thoughts on that excellent featherweight matchup?
Yeah, this is going to be an unreal fight. Aldo in 3 rounds seems to be a monster, man. Like that Stevens win, the Moicano win. He can just kind of let himself go. He doesn't have to pace himself for those 2 extra rounds that I think are a pretty taxing on the body. He did have a knee infection, I believe. Supposedly it's been taken care of, but it's just another thing that kind of got in the way of his training and stuff like that. Volkanovski, this is going to be a stand-up fight. Volkanovski, I don't think is going to be able to take down Aldo. Some of the best dudes in almost all of MMA haven't been able to take him down, so I don't really expect Volkanovski to. So this is going to be a kickboxing match, and Aldo you lose very many of those if your name's, the only one he really loses to is Max Holloway. But I just think Volkanovski is the younger, fresher guy. He's not obviously that much younger. It's only 2 years. He did get cracked by Mendez. I don't know what it is. There's just something here telling me just to I put a small bet on Volkanovski. Aldo is aging, but he has looked good in his last fights, but those miles are still on his body, and I don't like that he's got sick. I know he's probably pushing through some stuff because this is probably going to be the last time he gets to be on a UFC Brazil card, a pay-per-view card. So I just worry about stuff like that. I do think it's going to be a close fight. I took Volkanovski. I got him at plus 119, I believe. Just a small 1-unit play. Just playing a bit of the factors coming into this with Aldo.
I think what you said about this being a 3-round fight is a big thing too.
Yeah, Aldo's been unreal in 3-round fights, so it's going to be tough.
Yeah, if you watch the Max fight too, especially the second one, he had a lot of success against Max early on until he started getting too much damage and gassing.
Yep.
He doesn't have to pace himself. It's a different guy in 3 rounds.
I got Aldo an A+, Volkanovski an A-. This is a really exciting fight, but I think really comes down to a couple things. One is Aldo's 92% takedown defense. He's one of the best fighters all time at defending takedowns. That's Volkanovski's strength. And on the feet, I mean, Aldo has a better chin than Volkanovski does. Volkanovski can be hit. He can be hurt. Aldo hits hard, and he throws with variety. Aldo is a really dangerous fighter on the feet. He's going to force Volkanovski to fight him on the feet, and that's going to be trouble. I think Aldo's going to land, and I think Aldo's going to finish Alex Volkanovski in this fight. I really do. I think Aldo's certainly worth a bet at just at under minus 140, and even can certainly get the finish. I mean, what is the TKO prop right now
for Aldo?
Yeah,
it is. Aldo by TKO is plus 335.
That's a good price. What do I got? I want to see it.
You're looking at, do you guys have lines up already at
the duel?
FanDuel?
Not that good.
Yeah.
We do have lines, though. What is the money line prop you have?
Money line on Aldo is minus 135.
I got 134. It's a better price. Basically the same. The KO prop is under 3-1, though. So.
Weak.
but still a good price. I am going to lay in Aldo right now to win straight up. Minus 134. Doing that as we speak. Co-main event time. We go from Brazilian number 2 to, I guess what most people consider Brazilian number 1. The Anderson Silva, the Spider, returns yet again to the UFC to fight in Brazil, taking on U.S. pound for pound all-time ranking 698 Jared Cannonier. Wes, thoughts on this one?
Man, it's crazy that Anderson is 44 years old and still out here, man. I think this is going to be ugly, man. I get Anderson down in Brazil. I don't know. People look at the Izzy fight and they're like, "See, Anderson, he's still got it. He's not completely washed." And it's like, man, nothing happened in that fight. Literally nothing happened.
He landed a couple strong punches. He did. It was earlier in the fight, but he did. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Where the Izzy completely respected him and did not go for him.
That's fair.
Whatsoever. Well, guess what? This dude is gonna be going for the kill, and this dude hits like a fucking truck at 185. Cannonier's a different guy down there, man. Just the power, the athleticism. I think he's gonna get to Anderson. I think he's gonna get him with something. I don't think Anderson still has the pop that he used to have. With him, it's a lot of technique and stuff. He never really had that kind of, I don't know, straight up knockout power. It was more how he caught you at the end of his stuff, and he's not that quick. He's not that fast anymore, man. I think he's in trouble here. If this gets to the cards, of course he's got a shot, but I can't see it getting there. So I like Cannonier here, man. I like him quite a bit. He's one of my few favorite bets up. Prove me wrong, man. 44-year-old Anderson Silva is going to have to prove me wrong against a killer like this.
Nushan.
I agree with what Wes said. I think this is probably going to be bad for Anderson Silva. I think he lost that Brunson fight. I think most people thought he did. If you take that into consideration, he's 1-6 in his last 7, and that spans 6 years.
But he probably did beat. All right.
What's that?
But he probably did beat Bisping, though, right? So
no, he lost Bisping because I bet Bisping, so that's why he lost. He's just I don't know if his heart's in it. When you watch that Israel Adesanya fight, I don't know if he just came to the realization that he just wasn't going to beat him, because he definitely did not look to go all out and try to finish Adesanya when he knew he was down. So that's kind of cause for concern. You want a guy that's, if he knows he's down, he's going to at least go for it and possibly kind of, he'll put himself in danger, but he gives himself a shot at actually winning, and I just don't know if Anderson has that anymore. Cannonier, I think, is going to look to make a statement. He's not going to be respecting him like Adesanya. I think he's going to come in and try to take his head off. Especially in Brazil, he doesn't want to worry about the shitty judging and stuff like that. So I think he's probably going to come in and crush Anderson. Cannonier has been clipped though, at obviously different weights. He got KO'd by Dominic Reyes at 205. That was his second last fight. And then way back, he got knocked out by Sean Jordan, but obviously that was at heavyweight. So he can get cracked. Maybe he comes flying in trying to take his head off, and Anderson just perfectly times one, puts it on his chin. But I don't see it happening. I still don't. Cannonier looked great against David Branch, but I still don't. I don't know why, but I just don't want to touch this fight. It is still Anderson Silva. I know he is way past overdue. So I will just pass. I'll pick Cannonier, and I think he gets the knockout.
Where's Tony Rocco Martin coming out with this girl?
How about
Kayla
TK
Harrison.
40? That's not too awful bad.
Where's that Rocco though? He should be out with her. Got to support your homegirl. Certainly an interesting relationship.
What you got, Jay?
I got both these guys at B-. I think this is a really tricky fight because Anderson is the type of fighter like lulls fighters, and even at an advanced age, he can certainly land. I mean, Cannonier had that really good win over Glover Teixeira. He does hit hard, but like I said, Anderson knows how to move around, and he's plays this matador type of fighter. I think it's a tricky fight, and anything close is going to go to Anderson. I really do believe that. So I think this is a buyer beware type of situation. I'm going to avoid betting this at all costs. Main event time, we got champion in the strawweight division, Rose Namajunas, Pat Barry's old girl, taking on Jessica Andrade, trying to be another Brazilian women's champion. That would give them two currently in the UFC if she's able to get it done. Wes, will she get it done and become a UFC champion?
Short answer is yeah, I believe so. Yeah, man. I've been proved wrong by Rose for a couple of years now. All props to her. I just think this fight's a little different than I think the JJ fight set up perfect for her in hindsight, of course, looking back. I just think those were great style matchups for she has really improved her striking. I'll give her that. But Rose she's aggressive too. I think that played well against Joanna. I think that's going to be her downfall in this fight. I just think this is going to end up getting into a firefight at one time or another. And she's going to get clipped by probably the hardest hitting chick, maybe outside of Amanda Nunes in women's MMA. I just think that's what's going to happen here. And I think Andrade is even better on the mat. I mean, her wrestling is better than Rose. Rose might have a little bit better jiu-jitsu, but I see this eventually being that. Andrade eventually catching her with something, and that power means something in this weight class. The run that Andrade has been on is just incredible. Wins over Claudia and Tisha, and then the Carolina win. This chick has just gotten so much better over the past few years. Not saying that Rose hasn't. I think the power is going to be the difference maker in this fight. Rose isn't hitting a chick like JJ, but I think she did expose JJ a lot of her flaws. But I just don't think Andrade has those same flaws there. So I think she gets her somewhere, maybe second, third round. She's going to connect with something, and this fight's going to be over. And man, I've been on the Andrade train for a while now, and she's made me some good money, and I'm going to stick on it. And I think this line's pretty good to stay on that train. So I hammered the minus 125 already, and I like her in this fight.
Nushan.
I don't get this line at all. The way that they match up it puts so much. I give Andrade so much a better chance to win in this fight. I know she lost to JJ, but that was a completely different style matchup. Andrade is just going to bull rush Rose and just throw hooks with big power. And then if she wants to, she can take her down and throw her on her head. She did it to Claudia. She could do it to anybody at this weight. I just think Jessica Andrade is such a good bet in this situation. Maybe I'm wrong. I just think the power, it being in Brazil, I know Rose took this fight, and I don't know, everybody thinks she's like tough for taking this fight in Brazil. I think it's stupid myself.
Not smart.
It's
smart.
dumb. You can, she's showing, I don't know, she's trying to prove everybody wrong that she's not scared or whatever. I don't know. This is going to be bad. The whole crowd is going to be backing Andrade. We don't see 115-pound girls do what Andrade did to Koala Bear. Absolutely knocked her dead unconscious, and I think that might actually happen here. It might be more of a TKO with Rose getting dropped. She has been clipped before. She has been dropped, and I see it happening here. I have 3 units on Jessica Andrade at minus 117. I also took fight doesn't go to decision at minus 120 for 0.67 units, and then I took Andrade inside the distance at plus 220 for 1 unit. I just think she's going to be way too much. She is going to have way cleaner boxing. She's going to be in tight. She's not going to stay outside and get picked apart by Rose. She's going to get inside, and she's going to wreck that body and that chin.
I got Andrade A+, Namajunas A+. I think this is a really interesting fight, but I do see, like the other guys, that the advantages do fall to Andrade. First of all, she hits way harder. She's arguably more dynamic. Just that power striking style is really tough to game plan for. And I think that's going to play an advantage for her against Rose, because she certainly hits a lot harder, and she could alter the fight rather easily on the feet. On the ground, certainly more competitive. Both have had success against fighters with submission grappling, so I think that washes itself. So I think this becomes just a power striking battle on the feet. Rose definitely longer, but Andrade is a lot like Lineker, that she can work from the outside and find her way inside, and I think that's the difference in the fight. More powerful, more impactful striker is Jessica Andrade. I think that's more than enough for her to win the championship, and that's our consensus. Our second consensus bet of the week is Jessica Andrade by money line. Nushan, what's the price there?
Minus 125.
Minus 125, Jessica Andrade outright money line. And that does it for this week's MMA Analysis podcast. The UFC next week heads back to the great state of New York with a headlining fight of Rafael dos Anjos and Kevin Lee. That should be a good competitive matchup, and we'll talk about it then. For this week, enjoy the fights in Rio. It's always a good card down there. It'll be entertaining. And maybe, just maybe, we'll see a new champion. Talk next week.